Well, police have increased visibility this festive season, but how do you know if the person pulling you over is an actual police officer? A 28-year-old man was caught with a stolen police gun, jacket and bulletproof vest in Limpopo over the weekend. He faces charges of theft and impersonating a police officer. Now, despite this, traffic authorities insist you must stop when pulled over. So to discuss this matter, I'm joined now by Limpopo police spokesperson, Mutlafela Mujapelo. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning, Mutlafela. Really, the question is, if we've got individuals that are walking around with the uniform that belong to police officers, how is an ordinary South African supposed to know that they're being pulled over by law enforcement and not an impersonator?
Well, the first thing is all police officers are required to carry the police identity cards. Every time you are stopped by the police, those perhaps that are not in the uniform, you should request that particular identification card. Each and every police officer is issued with one.
Okay, then in this case then, how is it that this individual got access to the uniform in itself? In other words, who's distributing this uniform? Is there like a backdoor kind of distribution? Is there underground distribution? How is it that people are able to access uniform belonging to law enforcement so easily?
Well, the incident that we're talking about, it's something that us as the police, we are currently busy investigating. We have stopped this particular individual on the road during our festive season operations on Saturday night, and we arrested him. We then searched the vehicle. We found this bulletproof vest, the police firearm that was stolen somewhere in Mpumalanga. So we are investigating that part of, but obviously part of our investigations will be how does this individual get access to our police things, your bulletproof vest, your handcuffs, your police reflector jackets, and so on.
I mean, you're saying that you're still investigating how this individual got access, but this is not the first time that law enforcement has a conversation about individuals impersonating them or having access to some uniform or another. So then the question is, if this is not the first time that this is happening, where is there a leak in the system? Where is there a miscommunication in the system that people that are willing to commit crimes are getting access to this uniform? Who's your supplier that is causing such a leak?
Well, remember, we can't be generalizing. We are faced with a specific incident that we are investigating as the police, and we are investigating this particular one. But if there is any complaint regarding the issue of police uniform being issued somewhere else, and that requires another day. But we are currently investigating this one, where we found an individual who pretended to be a police officer, repeated arrest, but we then conducted enough investigations that led us to the arrest. We are investigating how did this person get hold of this police material. And once we reach there, we'll be able to get further incidents where people get unauthorized access to our police uniform and so on.
Mutlafela, I mean, obviously it's festive season, which means that criminals are on alert as much as holiday makers are spending time with their families and they're over and they're away. So in that sense, how then do we start empowering a viewer to know exactly what to do when being stopped? Because as it is right now, if you were able to catch such a 28-year-old man, it does not mean that there is no other individual impersonating police elsewhere. So in this sense now, let's empower us a little bit. What do we do? So if we get stopped by the police, what do we do? What is the first thing that we do? And if the individual refuses to show their identity for whatever reason, what recourse and what power does the individual being stopped have so that they, number one, they don't get arrested, but number two, they don't fall victim to potential criminals, impersonating law enforcement?
Well, now, during this period, we are talking about the heightened visibility across the province. The police officers are out in numbers in the uniform, but if you are to be stopped by someone who's not in the uniform, the first thing that you must look for, the person will have a blue light, for an example, then that person will command you to stop, but make sure that this person that is stopping you is a police officer. After stopping, you must demand that person to identify himself. But normally, once you are stopped, these people will identify themselves that we are the police. Stop, we want to do our work and so on. But by and large, our police officers are out in numbers in the uniform with marked police vehicles, because those are the ones that we are using on the road.
Mutlafela, we're going to leave it there for this morning. Mutlafela Mujapilo, who's Limpopo police spokesperson, giving us the latest on that 28-year-old individual who was stopped with uniform belonging to law enforcement, and obviously equipping you as well, with finding out exactly when do you give somebody the ability to search you as a police officer and when do you not, and how do you ask for identity, etc. But with that,